Good evening, everyone. I want to start by welcoming you all to another Define on TikTok Live. Now, today, I'm going to give us all just a few moments to settle on in, and I just want to make sure you are all ready for our manifestation workshop. Happy New Year. This is going to be a manifestation workshop where we channel high vibes to enter the new year. I'm going to give us all just a moment to settle on in, let everyone grab your manifestation journal. And as I'm welcoming you all in, I just want to take a moment and let you know what I've brought you here tonight to do. So tonight we are doing a guided manifestation practice using the Mystic Michaela Manifestation Journal. Our focus tonight is channeling high vibrations as we are entering the new year, because how we start the year influences how we move through it. Before we dive in, I want you to all take a moment and think about why you came here tonight. Maybe you want clarity, motivation, confidence, alignment, or simply a moment to reconnect with yourself. Whatever brought you here today, honor it. Everything tonight is about your answers. My role here is to guide you. Your role is to notice what feels true to you. So we are going to take this time to tune in and give shape to the way you want to move into the year. So I want to welcome you all to our first manifestation workshop of the new year. Good evening, Jill. Hello, Jenna. My day was wonderful. Thank you for asking. I hope your day was too. If you don't have your manifestation journal yet, I want you to grab a piece of paper and you can do this alongside us. Good evening, Ayana. Before we dive into the journal itself, I do just want to take a few moments to go over what manifestation actually means, because it's important that we are starting with a clear and grounded understanding of manifestation. I think it's often misunderstood. So let's dive in, you guys. Manifestation. It is a practice that helps you align what you want with how you show up. There's 4 pieces that you are going to see again and again throughout this journal. And those are the 4 components that make up manifestation. First, clarity. Clarity is knowing what you're moving toward. The next, emotion. Connecting on a deeper level to how it feels to live that way. Third, repetition. Meaning, returning to your intention regularly. And the 4th component is action. Behaving in ways that support your direction and your growth. When all 4 of these are present, your daily decisions shift. And when your decisions shift, your life shifts. As I'm on here today, if any questions do come up, just let me know. I like these to be interactive sessions together. Before we open up our journal, I want to explain a little bit about why this manifestation matters for the new year. And that is that the new year, it is a natural reset point because our attention becomes available again. And when we write things down, especially daily, we are actually training our attention. And our attention influences our behavior, and our behavior influences our reality. So the journal pages that we are working with tonight help anchor your attention in the direction of what you want, while also building belief and self-worth, which are essential ingredients of manifestation. Here's a key component that I want you to take a moment to think about. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe you are worthy of receiving. This practice strengthens that worthiness and expands your capacity to receive. That's an important note right there that I want to repeat one more time. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe you are worthy of receiving. So it is through this daily manifestation practice that strengthens your worthiness and expands your capacity to receive. Let that sink in. Yes, Ayana said that's powerful. I'm glad you think so, because that is already your one step forward. It's a new mindset shift for 2026. Now, I'm going to be moving through each section of our daily manifestation page together slowly so you can write with me. But I want you to keep in mind to use my examples as inspiration, not as something you need to copy. Let my answers help you find your own words. So we're going to start with the daily mantra, and I'll be highlighting each category as I'm talking about it. So the first box you'll notice is that daily mantra. This is a sentence you can return to when your focus drifts. It sets the emotional tone for your day and for how you're entering the new year. I encourage you, the way that this journal is set up is every morning to start with this part of the page. So these are going to be what you start your day off filling out. As you choose your mantra, I want you to think about who you want to be this year, the momentum you want to build, and the feeling you want to carry into your days. Let your mantra be supportive and believable. It's something that grounds you when things feel uncertain. Write these in the present tense. Some examples. I am open to receiving good things. I trust the progress that is unfolding. I allow myself to grow at my own pace. I welcome clarity, calm, and alignment. What daily mantra resonates with you most? Choose one that reflects how you want to feel this year. One that I am going to be choosing today is I move through today. Ayana said, I am open to receiving good things. I'm going to choose, I move through today with confidence and ease. You need some calm too. Okay. Then maybe this one would resonate. What if we adjusted the one that you said? I am open to receiving good things. I allow calmness to wash over me as I remain open to receiving good things. Next, we're going to move on to my goal/intention. This is the box where you anchor your direction. Maritza said, I let go of what I do not need. Beautiful. That's the energy we want to be taking in to this new year together. I appreciate you guys feeling comfortable too to sharing your answers with me. I think it's a powerful thing to share your own mantra so we can all be sending positive, uplifting energy to one another. And that's what a manifestation session is all about. Coming back to our goal/intention. Again, this is the box that anchors your direction. Your intention describes what you want to experience or embody without locking yourself into exact outcomes. When you are writing your goal/intention, focus on the feeling and the state of being connected to the goal. What do I mean about by this is that do not write your goal with a specific outcome in mind. Focus on the deeper underlying feeling that this is going to get to you. Oh, Jenna asked, how do I figure out the right mantra? Great question. For the mantra, it is similar to an affirmation in terms of it is something that you want to write in the present tense that is short, repeatable, and meaningful. So I want you to ask yourself in this specific focus of the new year, who you want to be this year, the momentum you want to be building, or the feeling you want to carry into your days. So for example, if you are ready to embrace your confidence and trust in the flow of your day, that is why I move through today with confidence and ease. Ask yourself, what are you trying to accomplish? Another example, I am open to what the universe has in store for me. Does that help give you clarity, Jenna? Because that's an important question right there. And I think another important component to this is that a right mantra is one that helps you feel connected. Yes, you may need to sit with it. Absolutely. And I encourage you to, because I also I'm going to take a moment and say, don't overthink these. This is not about perfection, which I know is difficult. And as much as we want there to be a right or wrong answer, I want to challenge us to live in the gray. And as you start to write out different daily mantras, it'll become a little more natural and you'll feel more connected to the words that are on the paper. Great question, Jenna. Thank you for asking. Yes, exactly, Kay. It is something. Oh my goodness. Jenna, you nailed it. Exactly. So Jenna said, I am capable and deserving of an amazing life. The reason why that is a wonderful mantra is that you are open to what this means. I'm going to actually think about, I like this phrasing too, because the key with anything that you put on the page is that you are allowing the universe space to work with. Think of it in terms of if someone gives you an assignment, maybe a client wants you, okay, sorry. Jenna, for example, you're the one that's popping to my head, so I'm going to use you as an example if that's okay. Jenna creates curriculums. Imagine someone came to you and said, I want you to write me a curriculum, but this is all of the information I want you to use on the curriculum. I want to teach X, I want to teach Y, and I want to teach Z. Well, you're sitting there going, so you want me to write a curriculum based off of your own curriculum? That is what the universe doesn't want. The universe wants you to say, hey, would you be willing to write me a curriculum? I want at the end of this curriculum to feel enlightened and fulfilled. That gives space to what this curriculum looks like. Does that make sense? Kay said, Maritza first said, open to new beginnings. I love that. Kay said, I am worthy of my goals. Yes, you are. So that is a little bit of how I want you to think about these things. That example with the curriculum goes hand in hand with the goal/intention because you want to focus more on the feeling and the state of being connected to this goal. So one way to approach my goal/intention is by asking yourself, how do I want my life to feel as this unfolds? What sense of stability, confidence, or fulfillment am I calling in? So instead of writing a highly specific scenario, describe the experience that you're aligning with. Some examples. I am building a life that feels balanced and sustainable. Another example. I am living in a space that feels safe, supportive, and grounding. Oh, yes. Sorry, Ayana. Now we are moving into the goal portion. And let me take a step back. I could see that's confusing. This, right, my goal/intention. This is going to be that anchor. Okay? So it's describing what you want to experience or what you want to embody. Do not apologize. I'm always happy to go over the clarification. So a comparison that I always think of when it comes to my goal/intention is this. I'm going to give you two. The first has to do with the example I just gave you. If your end goal for 2026 is to buy a house, instead of writing, I am buying a house, I want you to tap into what this goal is going to help you feel. That helps you focus on the state of connection rather than the outcome. So instead of I am buying my house this year, I want you to write, I am living in a space that feels safe, supportive, and grounding, because that is what you want. Who knows what this house is going to look like? Who knows where it exists? That is what the universe knows. Your goal is to focus on the feeling. One more example. If you are trying to manifest a relationship, instead of saying, I am in a relationship with a partner that is tall and supports me financially. Instead, let's reframe it, because at the end of the day, it's not about how the person looks. It's not about the 3D of it all. It is about the feeling that this relationship is going to give you. So I want you to tap into that. Oh, Jenna asked, just one or can we do multiple? That is a good question. If it is something that is going to cultivate the same feeling, then you can combine it. I find it best to focus on one at a time for this purpose, especially if you're new to manifestation. And I would say focusing on that one at a time gives you that clarity to connect on a deeper level with it. And then there's going to be this certain point. I don't know when it will be. I don't know how long it's going to take, but there is going to be a day that clicks for you. That is the day that I encourage you to add in to your goals, to your manifestations. Does that make sense? However, I will say, let's say, for instance, you are trying to manifest. That's a great, actually, question. Because let's say you're trying to manifest a relationship and a house. You could connect those two because the feeling is pretty similar. The feeling is going to be that safety and that security. If it's financial stability, it could also be consistency with your routine or your mental health. These are going to connect. So when you're manifesting those types of feelings, it'll give you a more connected goal. I want to make sure that's clear. I feel like I don't want to ramble on for that one. Because that actually was an interesting question that, as I talked about, kind of gave me some clarity in a way I wasn't expecting. Because actually, when you're manifesting one thing, if you are not focused on the outcome, you end up manifesting other things as well. Hello, Nakia. You have not missed much. We are making our way through a daily manifestation to ring in the new year together. No, absolutely not. Because we actually don't know how long it's going to take. It could take a lot longer than we would probably like sometimes. So if you focus on that feeling and allowing it to come naturally, it manifests in different ways, if that makes sense. Great questions, Jenna. So I'm going to use for our example goal today of I move through my days. Feeling secure, capable, and supported. I always recommend being a little more broad in these goals/intentions. And then in your defined planner is where you can be extra specific in terms of how this goal happens. So that is why this is a system when used together. I know manifestation can be confusing, so I'm always trying my best to explain it in a way that's clear and straightforward as much as it allows. So I do appreciate all the questions and the clarity. So it is in the beginning of it is going to give you the, of course, belonging to page, a welcome page, an accountability page, look inward, which is self-reflective prompts, and a vision board. There's also a page here that just walks you through what each prompt means. And then you have each of these pages. So it's like a prompted journal for that consistency. Okay. Now, I want to always make sure. Yes, absolutely. And the reason why I like having this in a journal format is because I'm someone where if it's laid out for me, I'm more consistent with it. So that's just another little benefit. And the next step is gratitude. So gratitude shifts your emotional frequency. And if you've heard me talk about the manifestation journal before, you've heard me talk about 3 things. The law of attraction, the law of vibration, oh, okay. Jenna says I manifest, just not this structured. I like it. I think that's beautiful though, too, to have that freedom, because that already means like you are getting it. So imagine what could happen if you did it consistently, like knowing that you're doing it, because it's crazy. We manifest things without knowing it. That's a little bit of a scary thing to think about. So Jenna said I do know about the laws. Amazing. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm just going to tell you that the law of attraction states that like attracts like. The law of vibration tells us that everything vibrates at a certain frequency. So when it comes to the law of attraction, this like is based off of your frequency. So high frequency level, which is equal to your vibration, equals more positive or higher people, experiences, and opportunities. Now, the same is true for the opposite. A low vibe equals lower people, experiences, and opportunities. So, what can we do to make sure that we are on a higher vibe? It's all about the mindset. Part of that is going to be gratitude. And that is the quickest way, Mystic Michaela always says, to instantly raise your vibes. So when I said that it shifts your emotional frequency, that elevates the vibes that you are already attracting in. The reason being, which I find fascinating, is that you cannot hold fear and gratitude at the same time. And manifestation is really hard when fear dominates. One thing that happens a lot of times is we make our decisions based off of fear. So through the power of more purposeful and intentional living, you start to make your decisions based off of love, based off of higher vibes, And that is what starts to shift the world around you. The last thing I want to mention too when it comes with gratitude is that gratitude actually lowers your resistance so your intentions can land. Meaning, gratitude makes you more open. It takes away that resistance factor. So the universe is going to receive your intention more. There is no wrong answer when it comes to gratitude. It can be simple and it's personal. Some examples could be the people who believe in me, a specific moment that brought you peace today, a phone call from a loved one that took you out of surprise, or maybe something reminded you of the resilience that you had. I want you to take your time and I want you to feel the gratitude as you write. In honor of the new year, I'm grateful for a beautiful chapter. And a fresh start. Or we're going to get a little poetic here, and a fresh turn of the page. Okay. Next is my favorite one. This is the self-worth check, okay? Manifestation really flows from self-worth. I mentioned it earlier that you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you believe you are worthy of receiving. If you don't believe that you deserve what you're asking for, your actions are going to contradict your goals. So what this section is about is checking in with yourself. I always say, this is where I want you to hype yourself up and be your cheerleader. These are going to be powerful self-acknowledgements that not only tell you, but they also tell the universe that you understand what this goal is going to do for you. Manifestation is strengthened when you recognize your own value. So to answer this question, I want you to think of actions, attitudes, or boundaries that reflect self-respect. So the 3 things that you're about to write are going to be signals to yourself that you deserve what you're working towards. Some examples could be, I set boundaries that protect my energy. I trust myself to make thoughtful decisions. I speak kindly to myself. I'm going to add in a word. I speak kindly and respectful to myself. I'm so glad, Jenna. Another one, I ask for what I need without hesitation. One more example, I follow through on my commitments to others and myself. It can also be, another example is, I am confident in the decisions I make. And move forward without self-doubt. A third self-worth check that aligns with moving through our days in the new year, feeling secure, capable, and supported is I am strong in my word and trust myself to handle what life throws me. So if you haven't already, now is the time to write 3 statements that reflect how you're honoring yourself. Jenna asked, do you do a page a day or just whenever? Every morning. So this journal is designed for daily manifestation because when you do something daily, especially something such as writing it down, you are actually shifting your attention. So you start to train your mindset and your attention to be more positive and that higher frequency. And it's only through consistency that this can happen. So every morning, I like to do this part. And we'll get to the evening reflection at night. Now, we move into scripting. This is going to be part of the third component that I always tell you guys goes into manifestation. So after the law of attraction, the law of vibration, I'm just going to put a little 1, 2, and 3 here. It's visualization. You have to believe it to achieve it. And what this scripting section does is it connects your intention to your emotion. So this is going to be future-based writing, as if what you want is already happening. And the purpose of this is that it actually trains and helps your mind recognize the version of you who already has what you're calling in. So what you'll do here is write as though the version of you who already lives your intention is speaking. Okay, so it's almost like a future you is writing in this space. Oh, Jenna said, wait, are you changing everything each day or keeping it the same? Great question. Daily mantra can change. Your goal/intention remains the same. Gratitude changes. Self-worth check changes. The reason being is you want to have this constant repetition of your goal. However, you want to always be telling yourself different reasons for the self-worth check, the gratitude, and the scripting and the take action. Absolutely, Jenna. That is such a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Hey, Kristen. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Absolutely. That's such a valid question, Jenna. Oh, so one umbrella goal until it's achieved. That's what Iona asked. Okay. These are great questions. I just want to take a moment to give a little clarity on this. So your umbrella goals in your planner, those are going to be specific goals that you achieve on a yearly basis. I'm going to write this down, I think, so I can kind of break it down with you guys. So umbrella goal equals a yearly goal. It's measurable, it's specific, and there's usually a time restraint. Whereas your manifestation, which we'll call it your manifestation goal or manifestation intention/goal, this is something you want to feel. It's really focusing more on that mindset shift, is what I want that to be clear. It's not saying, I want a car, because that would be your yearly goal. Your manifestation intention is to have the freedom to get where you need to be. And the reason that these go hand in hand is that in order to achieve a yearly goal, you need to have a mindset shift alongside it. Does that clear things up? Because these are amazing questions, and that's why I love to host these types of workshops. Okay, great. I'm so happy to hear that. It's confusing. So none of these questions, I never want you guys to feel like it's an obvious answer, because it's not. Manifestation is very complicated. We like to think it's simple, but there's a lot to it. That depends. Great question, Ayana. Ayana asked, the manifestation goal will remain the same all year? Not necessarily, no. And that's where the tricky part comes in, is that, yes, Maritza, it's about more feeling about ourselves. It's something, it's more of an inner change. And we don't know how this is going to look. We know what our yearly goal is going to look like. This is specific. This is, let me read 24 books this year. I want to receive a promotion. I want to be married. I want to move into a new house, right? The manifestation intention / goal is the inner self-work, like Maritza just said, that helps you get there. This is making space for this to happen. And this right here is often a result of our manifestation. So they go hand in hand. Jenna asked, is it like The Secret? What do you mean by that? I just want to take a moment. Oh, it's a book. Okay. About putting things out into the universe. That is exactly what it is. You summed it up perfectly. It is about putting things out into the universe and really connecting with a higher version of yourself. So that's exactly it. Yes. Because I want you to remember that with manifestation, this is where it can get a little tricky for some, is you have to be willing to step out of the 3D world. That is something that Mystic Michaela talks about a lot. It's being willing to step into the 5D. Ayana asked, what would make you change your manifestation goal? If it comes true. So I'm going to give you an example from something that I personally manifested. And that's where it becomes a personal connection point. I think it was like 2023, end of 2023, I started to try to manifest a relationship, right? Instead, I had to tap into the 5D a little bit here. I used our manifestation journal, and I used it by trying to open myself up to who the universe had in store for me. I didn't focus on what they look like, on what he did for a living. I didn't focus on all of that. I really focused on how I would feel. And the reason that Mamie brought this up was that you asked, how do you know when to change your manifestation goal? And the answer in my case was, well, when I was given the relationship. That is when you feel this shift in yourself. So it's connecting to your inner intuition and your inner ability to know I'm ready. Does that make sense? These are amazing questions and such great points. And I'm so glad we're having this discussion. It's something that is so hard to communicate in just a video. And it's something that once you start to do it yourself, you start to feel it, it clicks. I can remember the day for me that it all started to click. And part of it had to do with the science behind it. So I wasn't going to get into this, but I'm thinking based off of some of your questions, and I think where the holes are coming in is a little bit of that science base. So if you bear with me, let me break one more thing down for you. We all have this thing called the reticular activating system. Now, this is a part of your brain. So if I'm remembering correctly, it is part of the, like that connection point with your, is that like I can picture it like, you know how a brain, it's like blah, and then like blah, it's like here. And what this is, if I'm correct with that statement, that's not the important part. The important part is that what this does is this has to do with the neurons and how we perceive our reality. So for instance, if you are trying to manifest a car, again, I know I said, or if you are trying to buy a car, we're not going to use the word manifest here because that's not the purpose, but this is the explanation I'm going to give you. Is let's say you are trying to buy a car, right? You are really interested in blue cars. Your brain, through this reticular activating system, is going to start to pick up on the blue cars that drive by you every day. Now, the key here is that these blue cars, they've driven by you every day. You haven't noticed them because we as humans can only filter so much. So this reticular activating system is filtering what you perceive. So through manifestation, you're starting to shift your awareness and your attention to trigger to your brain to start to pick up on these things. So with a relationship, well, maybe you've been a little closed off towards a healthy partnership. This is a mindset shift. Exactly, Ayana. You nailed it. Okay. So for instance, I know some of you are married in a healthy, happy relationship. It's just like one of those examples that really, I think we can all connect to, whether it's now or in the past. No matter what your relationship looks like, it could be whatever that means to you. If you are ready to manifest a healthy partnership, this part of your brain is going to start to recognize healthy signs. So green flags, if you will. It will also, you nailed it. Yes, thank you, Jenna, for summarizing. The reticular activating system is in the brainstem and it filters sensory inputs among other things. Exactly. That is what is filtering our reality. So yes, that was the word I was looking for, the brainstem. Okay, wait, I'm so glad that we brought this up. Does that clear things up for everyone? I want to make sure before we move on. Okay. Amazing. Yes, okay. Great. Wait, I'm so happy then that we brought a little bit of the science into it. Science is amazing, and the beauty of this is I think that's a hidden gem with manifestation. And it took that understanding for me to really get it one day. Because there is a little bit of logic behind what you're doing. This is really putting it in paper format for you, which I think is really cool if you think about it. Says the teacher. Yeah. Amazing, you guys. Okay, wait, I'm so glad we're having this discussion. Because I'm going to shift us all now into that scripting portion. And I'm going to go back because I know we get a little sidetracked sometimes. So I want to just regroup ourselves into the scripting portion for today's session. Because, again, this is going to be that future-based writing. As if what you already want is happening. So what this does is it helps your mind recognize the version of you who has already completed what you're calling in. So when you're writing this, keep it in the present tense and describe your life as if it's already real in terms of your goal. We're going to keep it grounded and we're going to focus, I can't emphasize it enough, we are focusing less on results and more on how you move through each day. So I'm going to encourage you all right now to close your eyes for a moment. I want you to picture yourself on an average day later this year. It's not a perfect day. It's just a normal one where you show up as the person you're becoming. You have already completed your goal. How do you move through the day? What choices are you making? And I want you to ask yourself to connect to your sensory information. So what are you feeling? What are you hearing? It could even be what you're smelling. And I want you to hold that image for a breath. So I want you to pause. And then I want you to bring that to the page. Okay, so I'm going to give us all a moment. Take a moment. Close your eyes. And in our example, I am picturing myself in 2026, a couple months from now, moving through each day. It's a normal working day. I've just been on TikTok Live with you all. I feel secure. I feel capable. And I feel supported. What am I going to write? I wake up feeling grounded and steady. I approach my day with confidence and trust in my abilities. When challenges come up, I handle them calmly. And thoughtfully. I just want to take a moment and think. I feel supported because that was my third word here. And I want to connect to that deeper feeling is I feel supported by the people around me. And secure in the direction I'm moving. My days feel productive, and aligned. That is what the scripting portion is. Now, this is where we then have to ask ourselves, what are we actually going to do to help us move in this direction? Because manifestation is a mindset shift, yes. But nothing in life happens without action. Manifestation, it does still require movement. So this is going to still require you to do something different. Because without making a change, things are going to stay the same. And this year, we are focusing on growth in whatever part of our life we want that to happen in. So here, this is where you get a little more specific. Oftentimes, it can connect with that weekly action item from your planner. But the important part here is that it is going to be one, it could also be up to I'd say 3 action items that would actually support our intention. So for example, it could be creating a simple routine that supports consistency. It could also be going on that dating app and actually reaching out to someone. It could be organizing your priorities and getting 3 things on your to-do list done. It could also be challenging yourself to ask for clarity or support when you need it. Because one thing that can be really hard to do is admit when you don't know the answer. So if that is your goal, is to feel more confident in yourself and your abilities, part of that also has to do with admitting when you don't know. Because we don't know everything. We can't. So asking someone instead of sitting with it for 10, 20 minutes longer than you normally would. You could also set a boundary that protects your time. I want to create a simple routine that supports my time for creativity and career. I also want to challenge myself, or we'll say, I want to speak up when I have an opinion. Without hesitation. Or thinking about it later on. What these are right here is that these are going to signal to your future self that you're serious. Because action does reinforce worthiness. It's not about the quantity of action items. It's about the quality. Okay. Then the last step. This is your evening reflection. And what your evening reflection is something that you come back to at the end of every day. It is a spot for you to teach your mind to recognize your progress and to make sure that you're staying aligned with your goal and with the universe and with yourself. So for example, because an evening reflection is a practice, it is one that is actually going to build accountability and self-trust. So asking yourself, did I take action today? Did I take action? I also like to use it as a spot for, did the universe send me any signals today? Or did I receive, I spelled that wrong, that's okay. Did I receive messages from the universe? And then the other part of this that I like to connect back to is, what will I do tomorrow? Or what will I carry into tomorrow? However you want to answer that question. I'm going to write, what will I do tomorrow? Because that gives me a little more leeway on how I'm answering it. I could do the same thing tomorrow. I could try something different. There's no right answer to this. Again, it is the practice of building that accountability and that self-trust that matters. Now, I want us all, because that is the last step of a daily manifestation page, I don't want to end there yet. I want to take a moment and I want us all to just place a hand on our chest. Place it right over your heart, and I want you to repeat your mantra quietly or silently. And I want you to feel the energy that you're choosing to carry into the new year. So take a moment, take a few deep breaths, and repeat that daily mantra. I'll repeat mine out loud now. I move through today with confidence and ease. I move through today with confidence and ease. Manifestation is not about forcing outcomes. It is about choosing alignment consistently enough that what you want becomes the only direction that you can move in. So I want you all to thank yourself for showing up today. It's through the consistency where magic forms. And I want you to return to these pages daily. Let them guide your focus, your beliefs, and your actions. I want you to have an aligned new year ahead, because you deserve to receive what you're calling in. And Jenna asked, I have the stickers. Can you please tell me about the numbers? Absolutely. So these numbers right here, there's a couple sets of them, I believe, on your stickers. Now, what these are the angel numbers. Because remember, these are our partnership with psychic aura reader, Mystic Michaela. And one thing she talks about a lot is numerology and the meaning behind these numbers. So if you have the latest set of stickers, you'll also have the little explanation here, or the Mystic Michaela Know Your Aura card deck in sticker format. And these are some of the different meanings behind the stickers, behind the numbers. So what the numbers are about is, the universe has a sense of humor. And they'll often send you messages, different signs. And one of the easiest way for them to do that is through numbers. So if you in the past have noticed yourself seeing a certain number a lot, maybe it's 111. You might not have thought too much about it before, but now that you're aware of it, there's deeper meaning behind these numbers. So for 111, it's about resetting your mindset. 222, trusting the process. 999 is endings bring new beginnings. And there's a lot more out there. We chose the most common ones the ones that we are naturally more likely to see because of the repetition. And I like to think that these numbers, yes, whoever you talk to, they have predetermined meanings. But I like to feel like it's just a nice sign as well from the universe. It's like them talking to you, and you can interpret that in whatever way you want. That's what I think is really important when you're embracing the manifestation of it all, is to remember that it's really how you want to feel it. I do recommend then, Jenna, Mystic Michaela has a wonderful Angels Number book that actually explains each of the numbers. So that might be something to check out as well. And I also just wanted to say thank you, Kristen. I really appreciate that. I try really hard, and I always do my best to answer your questions in a way that's clear and simple. The last thing I wanted to say about the numbers is it often has to do a little bit about where you're seeing the number. I don't personally connect with that too much, but I know a lot of people do. I have a hard time remembering all the different times I'm seeing the numbers, but for instance, sometimes they'll say if you're driving, it means something different than if you're at work. And yes, definitely check that out, Jenna. I think you'll really like that if you're on this journey of numerology, which I think is a really amazing one to enter 2026 with. Thank you, Maritza. I appreciate you all tuning in today. You're all incredible, and I just know that through all of our hard work, 2026 is about to be an unstoppable year. And as always, you guys, keep navigating each day with purpose. No, you're all amazing. Oh my goodness, Jenna. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I love this community, and I'm sending such good vibes your way. You got this. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.